The background checks more than once refer to a strategy of yours known as Plan B. What is Plan B, Mr. Young?
It's an offensive strategy where we try to implicate another suspect in a crime.
A suspect you have a good faith belief committed the crime?
No.
So it's a strategy designed purposely to mislead the jury, to steer them away from the truth?
It's an adversarial process, Mr. Richmond. The state must prove guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. The defense attorney tries to create reasonable doubt, doing so zealously within the bounds of the law. Plan B is within the bounds.
Barely.
Anything more than barely would be less than zealous.
You've tried to convince juries that somebody else did it, somebody you know to be innocent.
It may strike you as morally unethical, and I might agree. But legal ethics require
That's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's a distinction with a big difference. And if you don't get that...
To knowingly accuse innocent people, even prosecutors don't do that. You have to understand how this commission could have questions about your character.
Excuse me, may I be heard? My name is Bobby Donnell, and I used to work with this man.
Well, thank you, sir, but we're not taking testimony today.
Testimony? You make it sound like a trial. Is somebody on trial here? Actually, I just thought we could all use a good laugh. Talking about Eugene Young's character, it's actually a little funny.
You find it funny?
We got a president lying to us about weapons so he could start a war. The president before that lied under oath about sex he was having in the Oval Office. We have a Supreme Court justice going duck hunting with the vice president while presiding over a case involving the vice president. Our biggest pop star is an alleged pedophile. Some of our athletes are up on murder and rape charges, while the author of the Book of Virtues gambles millions of dollars in Vegas. And you're making character an issue?
I hate to shock you, Mr. Donald, but it still counts.
Well, if so, you sure as hell picked the wrong man to make an example of. This is a man who could go to a big firm and command a salary upwards of $1 million. He works for a fraction of that. Why? Because he sees the erosion of civil rights and he fights to stop it. He sees high courts forsaking the Constitution and he rails against it. He sees an attorney general rounding up suspects like poker chips.
We do not need a speech about...
You need the speech. The reason the justice system is so unfair in this country is because the benches are stacked with former prosecutors. We need to see your character here. How about you confirm a man who cares more about civil liberties than throwing bodies in prison? Eugene Young hasn't forgotten why he went to law school. Eugene Young clings to the ideology that a defendant, every defendant, is entitled to a fair trial. Now, you want to cast him off because you don't like his politics or his views on the death penalty? Fine. But don't you dare cite as a pretext his character.